Pondoff's Anonymous is brought to you by Light Source. What do we need when we're in the dark? Sometimes it's simply just a light source.
Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. React if you have to. Yeah. Don't know the time, yeah. Just know that I'm, yeah, one of a kind, yeah. What's on your mind, yeah. Well, hard to find, yeah. Beautiful mind, yeah. Still in my prime, yeah. Just know that I'm here. Yeah.
In-N-Out is the first and last meal that I have. And I went with my boyfriend this first time, and it was his first time in California. And literally right when we got there, I was like, In-N-Out. He's like, yeah. And then right when we left, we're like, In-N-Out.
Okay, has he had it before?
He loved it.
Right.
He was like, funny. He was the one who reminded me on the way out. He's like, you want to stop at In-N-Out?
What's
like,
your order?
Last meal? Let's go.
Double.
Yeah, no, I don't get a double. It's too meaty for me. I get cheeseburger.
I didn't even say it.
I get a cheeseburger, animal style with animal fries.
You got to go animal fries.
And a lemon up.
All the reels on social media of the In-N-Out, like they've had to remove the number 67 from the order. Go fucking nuts.
No.
The order number 67, and the place goes fucking bonkers.
Oh my! I don't get that. It seems like
that's the best part.
What
is the best part?
67
It's not
thing?
hateful. It's not like sexual. It's not.
It's just ridiculous for no reason. It's just their
oh my
thing.
Gosh, just like the government.
There you go.
Perfect.
Exactly what you said. It leads to drinking. It leads to relapse. It leads to bigger resentments. I mean, they linger for years. You know.
And what does somebody do to? Because it's not like you can just say, okay, don't resent somebody. I'm not gonna. Don't resent something. I'm not gonna. Like, what do you suggest?
What I suggest, I'll tell you what I suggest is what I do, and I hate doing it, but I know it works. Is prayer.
Amen.
You know, prayer is not for somebody else. I mean, it's not for yourself. It is for somebody else. So when you pray for somebody else, it makes you aware that the situation, and that, you know what, if you keep praying, you know, after a week, maybe 2 weeks, whatever, you know, that will dissolve. And it's hard to do, to pray for somebody that you just can't stand or you have a problem with. But prayer does
during this event. And what's cool is it wasn't all for nothing, because what got uncovered by going, you know, the purpose of them, like the military, they beat you down, get rid of all your bad stories and thoughts and fears, and build you back up to be this powerful machine and be a Marine, right? Well, in 4 days, what they did for us was they beat us down and had us talking through things, and guys started opening up, and I started hyperventilating on day 3. Wow. And I started having flashbacks of being molested as a kid.
Holy
And I'm
shit.
like,
there it is.
That's it. I never knew. Wow. I forgot about
Your
it.
body knew.
And I started hyperventilating, and I go out of the room, and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, could not catch my breath. And it was like, everything was happening like
an anxiety attack.
Million miles per hour. Like, this is why you've been doing it.
Unself-medicated.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what you've been hiding from. This is why you're insecure. This is why you've been a little boy. This is why you've been chasing sex. This is why it was like all in like probably 30 seconds. It was so much information that was coming forward so fast. It made me hyperventilate. And so I came back in the room, and the guys were like, are you okay? And I just blurted out, I was molested as a kid. And I just told the whole fucking story, and everyone's like, whoa. Yeah. And I felt, and all of a sudden, as their mouths were dropping, I felt 10 feet tall for the first fucking time in my life.
Hollywood Hills.
Wait, what's the L word? Or is that the name of the show?
That's the name of the show on HBO.
Of
about
course
lesbians.
You don't know that, and you know a million fucking things about little movies and things, but you don't know about this.
Talk to Movie Boy about it.
Check it out.
Okay.
It's about lesbians.
Anyway, so my job did not work out, and I decided that I was going to become a DJ. So I bought 2 turntables.
Nice.
Where it's at.
Yeah, and I did, because I literally was like,
just
like,
fucking
I saw
spinning.
It. Well, I just saw it. I just saw it in my mind, and I was like, there are no female DJs. There's no female DJs in the gay scene. I can kill this town. I got it. Like, there's not a lot of EDM or EDM now. House. Then it was house. There was no house music DJs, and I just saw that there was a big opportunity, and there was.
That's awesome.
And I did really well. I out there. Yeah, I did really well, but I was also selling drugs.
Right, so
Well, I never sold drugs at my DJ
Yeah, it's
gigs.
separate,
Right?
different businesses.
We're at in LA now.
I was
Just
in
all over, or
well, I started in the hills at the actress's house, and then I was in West Hollywood with the Gay Boys, and then I eventually moved over by the Laugh Factory at the end of like Laurel Canyon right there, and had a great little apartment.
She was on the
It was
podcast.
Beverly Hills who did
Montrose.
the SWAT raid, just so you know.
nice. We're getting there.
Only the best of the best.
It was funny.
It's like a Barbie dream house of a university, and
They just hate women and gay people. But that's why she
but
left.
it's so pretty.
Was this beef?
Loved every fucking minute. I was like, well, I have to go somewhere with a pool. You got to control every little thing down to and that was it. It was like I said, I'll go for 28 days, like two, like
You're not the
2
boss,
day
bro.
difference,
Right.
and then it was like there has to be a pool. I didn't even get in the pool. It was like cold. Like I didn't even get in the pool, but I found this rehab. It was amazing. Cornerstone in Orange County.
That's right. I remember you telling me about that.
So good, so good.
What was good? Like,
Oh, it's like. Did you go to summer camp?
yeah, a lot.
Do you know how that good summer camp laugh? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you laugh
They were
and you
laughing
just laugh
with you,
so
not
hard
at you.
you're gonna. And that
Just
was
like
a
at
rehab.
home, you felt like
No, I hated my home.
belonging.
No,
Well,
there's
like-
no home connection with that rehab,
Well-
but it felt like a home that I never had.
There you
Yes,
go.
that's
How
what
about that?
I was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like that pink cloud you talk about when I got sober. I mean, it was like magenta.
Was it the
was so
first?
good?
Was it the first rehab you went to?
Yeah.
All right.
I tried to get sober. So anyway, I ended up
Yeah,
moving.
you're DJing. Let's go
so
back
I,
to
So
that.
I became a DJ, and yeah, and that went really well. But I also the selling of the drugs grew. Then I decided I could get caught if I keep selling because I was like it was 7 people. I was like, I'm gonna get 7 people, and I'm gonna sell a lot of drugs to them.
Hey.
Yeah, I was in a very abusive relationship. That was like kind of like on and off. Like I couldn't really. It was because I was on drugs. Like
Who was
second
it?
I got sober, it was
Both
up.
abusive.
His name was Star.
his name was Star.
You dated a guy named Star.
Oh God, it was so bad.
Honestly,
He was
2
like
R's.
he just I take full responsibility. I have no regrets. However, my guy, it was sort of like my guy and the Mexican. It was like I was third down, and so my guy got busted, and my ex-boyfriend, after my guy's house got raided, the girlfriend called and told my ex-boyfriend that there's all this GHB they left. So he got the GHB and brought it, the 10 gallons or whatever, over to my house.
Holy
and
shit.
stored that at my apartment.
10 gallons.
Yeah, and so it's so weird. I quit selling drugs 2 weeks prior, so like I didn't have all the stuff that I typically would have. Like it was just God, right? Just giving me a little bit of grace, I suppose. And then I was leaving my apartment, massive SWAT raid at my apartment.
Jesus.
In Beverly Hills.
Yeah. No, I know it was Beverly Hills who came. I was living in LA.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it wasn't. I didn't live in Beverly Hills.
who called?
They tracked it, got to that part of it because it's like I
Fucking
I had
Santa
a
Monica Pier.
high bottom, right? But I had money. I was fine.
No. So I married her because she was pregnant. Okay, she got pregnant with my daughter, and so I've always wanted that 50. I wanted what my grandparents had. Okay, 50 years together. Now I never saw my grandparents kiss. I never saw them really hold hands. They constantly bickered back and forth.
Sure.
Right. Okay. My grandma smoked cigarettes all day long.
Uncommon.
Okay. Back in the 70s, those cigarettes were healthy.
Yeah.
Right. Cigarettes were healthy. So I
I can
hands
smell
down,
her house. It's my grandma's house. I can smell
hands
it.
down know that's why I have asthma. Okay, because I was there as a child, and it was just cigarette smoke, constantly.
Just sitting
right?
in those big ashtrays,
yeah, big
right?
ass, just sitting there, right? And so and she drank Ham's beer,
Damn.
Oh my God. Shout out
Ham's
Joe
beer,
Perry.
right?
Nice.
Ham's beer, and but she, I never
Love
saw my
JP.
grandmother drunk. Never saw her drunk. They probably bought a 24 pack once a week, and she just sip it.
Yeah.
Just like a little sip, and she put it down, and then maybe another little sip. I never really saw her. She never asked us to go get her beer. I never really saw her go get another beer.
My grandma would
right?
drink
It just-
PBR on ice and sip it. Like
Okay.
she would go coffee in the morning until like The Young and the Restless was over. That was her trigger.
Okay.
And then
That's beer.
and she would make ice all morning. And so if somebody came in like us kids and put our dirty hands in her ice because she was making it in the cubes and then in those trays, and then
Right,
open
right,
it.
okay,
And then
all right.
we'd come in and like out from playing, and she's like, I've been making ice all morning. You stuck your dirty hands in there because she needed it for her beer cup.
Okay.
So
yeah,
like,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it was,
yeah.
I never, she wasn't like falling over. She was
No,
sick
no.
and
I mean, I
PBR.
never saw her drunk. But I knew she drank beer because we had to crush the beer can.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh my God! In the garage, like the
No.
We
back
had
then,
Tootie
so
had
that's
one.
new. That's new. Back then, you had an 8x8x8 concrete block.
Nice.
So you just picked it up, dropped it on, crashed it.
Oh my
And
gosh!
Zoe, that's the old mousetrap.
yeah, you wanted to crush it as small as you could.
Right.
Okay. So because the smaller you crush it, the more cans you can put in a bag.
Bingo.
Right. So that's another part of my story too. The can
Were her
crushing
Ham's
thing,
beer
so-
cans, like you had to have the old church key to open them? Remember they didn't
No,
have the
they're
pop-
pull tabs.
They did. Nice.
Oh yeah, old pull tabs. So you pull the pull tab and you put the pull tab
Yep.
in a beer can up here. Okay.
Shout out Screech.
So it's until it's totally full, and then you put that in and take it with you.
I still save aluminum beer can or soda can tabs.
So those are different tabs. Yeah.
These are I know what you mean.
Right.
They're
The
like
old pull tab came all the way off.
Yeah.
You flipped it up, pulled it all the way off, and then they went to the new tabs, and
it's like the commercial.
me and my sister would get up and we'd have to go around the house and collect the beer cans, and then it just smelled like stale beer.
Is your favorite venue?
My favorite in the whole country?
Whoa.
You got it.
In the whole country, the Gorge Amphitheater is the coolest venue. It's up in middle of Washington.
Washington State.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
That place is wild. I think that's like the prettiest.
Who'd you see?
I've seen fish there, and I have seen King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard there. Do you know them? Do you know them?
Yeah.
See, I knew it.
Really?
She's our people.
You know
She's
the Giz, dude?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yep, this is great. Did we just become
I
best
get to the
3 services.
three services. People were very kind and gracious. And then Monday morning, my email box was filled with emails from people in the community
blown up.
saying, "How'd you do that? How'd you put down the bottle? My son or daughter struggles. My dad, my mom struggles with pills. It's taking everything from the family. How'd you do this?"
People bearing their souls
Yeah.
to you. Yeah.
Totally, because when you
And you've
take
been
off
their
the
pastor
mask-
for a long time. Like,
Well, for
3 years. And
3 years.
you gave them permission.
And
Yeah,
some people,
money.
I could see them doing the math. They're like, "Wait a minute, you were drunk when you got here?" I'm like, "Damn right
You're
I
like,
was."
don't focus.
Yeah.
Stop working
Don't
now.
focus on that.
Forward.
right.
And so when I get to church the next Sunday, I see my people, and I thought, man, we have a huge problem. That people you're sitting next to someone who's going through the same thing you are. They've been going through it, sitting together for years, and you don't know it because we've been silenced by what we call shame. We've been silenced by it. We don't want people to find out. And we're in the affluent white suburbs of Denver, and shame is like riddled there. So that started us asking the question, what would it be like? And that's a beautiful question to ask. What would it be like if we just created space, not start a church? We never talked about starting a church.
Just
In fact, I
creating
said
space.
no to church planting in my history. I said, I don't want to do that.
Sure.
Comfortable here. Comfort was very important to me.
Right.
So Abram went, he said.
So Abram went. That's exactly right. But
Yeah, listen.
we started asking the question, what would it be like to start a place for people like me, addicts, alcoholics, people like Tammy, loved ones of addicts and
Mhm.
alcoholics, and then our spiritual refugees, people who've been kicked around by religion. They've been told they don't belong. I was just seeing so many of my gay friends were like, yeah, I can't be a part of the God stuff anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you can't be a part of the God stuff? Like, yeah, the church kicked me out. And it's like, well, hold on.
About the gods.
Yeah, that's different,
Right.
right? So no, you can still be in. You can still be in.
And we
Um,
want to.
Yeah, well, we need you. We
Yeah.
want you and need you. And then so we opened up our backyard. We talked about it for about 13 minutes. And then really, we didn't have a huge plan laid out. We had 4 Saturdays laid out. And then we were going to, like, I don't know, not do it anymore or just see where it went. And
That's funny.
it just kind of grew. It grew. And that year in 2000, that was 2018, we just opened up the backyard. That year I did 6 funerals. 5 of the 6 people were under the age of 35, and they were all drug and alcohol related. So sometimes you're going after this thing you have like passion after, and you're like, you want to do it, but then you get these little reminders of, not only do you want to do this, you kind of have to do it.
You have to.
There's too much suffering for you to say, no, I'm good. I'm just going to go back. I'm going to go back to that thing where I was comfortable.
Zach's case, the only thing that made his death certificate say accidental fentanyl poisoning and not homicide was because he had just turned 13. Had he been 12, his death certificate would say homicide.
No shit.
No
That's
shit.
weird.
Yeah. So I think they look
What a
at
weird technicality that is.
so
Makes
many
no sense.
There's so many bizarre things. It has to do with thinking of the age of, did you know what you were
Age
doing?
of accountability. When I turned 13, my mom said, "You're at the age of accountability. I can try, but you're gonna decide what you want to do." Yeah. I was like,
Would you rather the death certificate say homicide?
So I felt kind of cheated. I was actually, my mom, we were out of town when toxicology came back. It was like 13 weeks after Zach's death, I think. And then the death certificate, when we were told, I want to prepare you, it's going to say homicide. Sure. And then truthfully, it wasn't until the second trial where I understood the difference of why it's age, 13 versus 12.
One day.
Yeah. I mean, basically that's it. Yeah.
That's how stupid that is.
It's just very interesting.
What would be the real tragedy is if it was that connotation on a death certificate that lessened a sentence to the grown-ups in the room that, let's not kid ourselves. This isn't, they didn't go out on the street that day and say, I'm going to go buy some fentanyl caps and try it today. This is not their first time. You obviously have a severe addiction plus horrible decision making, and I'm still giving them too much credit to be that reckless.
Well, the irony, so Thomas Noonan's biological daughter actually passed away from fentanyl poisoning maybe 3 weeks before Zachary's death.
Screaming.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you?
And he tried to play that sympathy card, after my daughter died, I vowed I would never have fentanyl in the house again. So Zach died 3 weeks after his own daughter.
Have fentanyl in the house again.
So he still said throughout his whole thing was, these weren't my drugs. I was at a friend's house that night doing a lot of fentanyl, but I didn't bring any home.
Funny story. I didn't know how numb I was until I wasn't anymore. And I found out when I was eating cereal. And I went to swallow it, and I went, and I shot it across the kitchen in there. And my buddy that's next to me, he's like, "Are you good?" Because it was one of those, when you cough and you're like, "No, I'm dead. I'm gonna die," right? And I was like it had that panic or whatever. And he's like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, I kind of felt, I felt that. He's like, "Oh."
Felt that in
right.
you.
I was like, right. I was like, oh. Yeah, so didn't know it was how numb I was until I wasn't.
The disease, as they say, it progresses. The disease was definitely progressing. So did I think that this was in the back of my head? Was it a possibility? Yes. Did Nick promise me, Mom, I will never do that to you and Dad? I would never do that. Yes, he said that. Of course he did. And so it just so I have, if I can call it a gift, that at least I knew that he was struggling. Whereas some parents, like I just met with a mom a couple weeks ago, she had no signs, absolutely no signs. They went out to dinner 2 nights prior, and then she found her son. So it's just but yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm in a world of hurt, but I am so mad at the disease of addiction. It has put a fire in me. Okay, you have fucked with the wrong mom, because I will fucking do whatever I can to help these young kids, to help parents. Let's figure this fucking shit out, because it's so crappy.
We're early prevention, go into maybe a school setting, parent-teacher conference nights. We might be at, set up a table and a bedroom that is represents a teen's bedroom. And it used to be, this is kind of changing. It was where it was hidden in plain sight. So you would let the parents go through and see if they could find paraphernalia, drugs. We didn't have real drugs.
That's
fake
probably
drugs.
Sure.
Fake drugs. And it was kind of showing them like the t-shirts.
Throws the dogs off.
And the hats that have the hiding, you know, the cookies shirts, which Jacob had. And all this. I learned a lot when I started doing that bedroom. Like, oh yeah, it's pretty much Jacob's bedroom.
Right.
You know, where they hide stuff, CD cases, and then all the stuff you can order off Amazon.
Oh my gosh.
So many things to hide. Which one of the things I found that was really interesting was an alcohol vapor thing where they pull, it looks like an air pump. It looks like
the name of it?
Refine Recovery.
Refine Recovery. You told me out there, you're like, you know, the thing I love about it is it's
it's owner operated.
Operated.
All of our owners worked for shitty treatment programs,
and most of them are in recovery.
And most of them are in recovery. One of them's a PsyD. Like we have like I call them like the Avengers of recovery out there. Like they built this awesome fucking team where everybody's really good at their respective departments, right? Like
perfect.
We have a guy who's amazing at business development. He's worked for every treatment program and he knows the ins and outs of the industry. We have a PsyD who built our clinical program. Our admissions director, who's a part owner, has been doing admissions for 10 years working with families. So we have all of these like super team of people, but it was very apparent from the first moment I spoke with somebody there when I was going there as a client that they did things differently. I was talking with one of the owners on the phone. He's the one who like got me out there. And when I showed up there, he was the first person I met and he brought me a plate of shrimp scampi and like did my intake, right? And we pride ourselves on that because without that human connection, when you go to a giant treatment conglomerate that's owned by one of these huge venture capitalists,
private equity,
they don't give a fuck about you. I never met a single person I talked to on the phone.
You're an Excel spreadsheet, man.
Yeah,
you're
a number
in Salesforce. Like this is it's so close to home. And why I bought into the mission here is because that's exactly how things are done here. It's you'll meet fucking Eric at the front door. You'll meet Angie, our director of admissions. We have hundreds of years of combined experience and clean time of people in recovery. So when the 20-year-old comes in and says Xanax isn't my problem, keep filling it.
Yeah,
we're gonna tell you to go fuck yourself.
Exactly. It's
when
like,
the addicts, when we're lying, it's when our fucking lips are moving.
Of course, yeah. And that was the piece that I was always missing. Right? Is I didn't have anybody who is as invested in my recovery. Like I need people to drag me out of the depths of hell. Right? Like these other programs, I was a number there. And also they would have like 100 or so clients at a time, right?
Bingo.
Like it's very easy for a manipulative addict alcoholic like me to fall through the cracks. Now the people who get sober at those places are 45 and 50 and have families and they have a very strong why. I had no why to be sober. Right. I needed somebody to meet me where I was
It's
at.
almost completely inverted because you had this long life ahead of you of what the disease says is not fun and joyful without using. So you're 35, 40, 45. Like, I can make it I can do a year because it's shorter to the end. You tell a teenager that. You tell me that when I was a teenager or 20, I would probably tell you to fuck off. Like,
They tried to
never drink again. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and I tell even like my sponsees and people now, it's like just get through the first year, right? Like there's people who get hyper obsessed with like, well, I want to take mushrooms again one day, or they get these ideas, and I'm like, dude, if you get a year sober, you're not going to give a fuck about that. I can promise you, your life is going to get so awesome that you're not going to risk throwing it away,
and you're going to look back at that person at day 1 or day 30, and you have changed so much to where now you will think that is the worst idea. You don't even want to do that. It doesn't even interest you.
For sure. My sponsor, he's got this awesome analogy that I love, that it's like addiction's like a funnel. Like when you first start using drugs and alcohol, it's big, right?
Okay.
And then slowly it gets smaller and smaller and smaller until it's just you at the fucking bottom. And when you get sober, you're at the bottom of that funnel. If you don't make your life fucking awesome and big again, you're going to use, right?
Sure.
So I tell people in that first year sobriety, build an awesome life, build something worth staying sober for.
Sure.
Find a passion,
relationships,
find some purpose. Yeah. Fucking
friendships. Yeah.
Find something fun.
Painkillers when I was 17.
Okay. So I was going to ask what else?
So eventually the Xanax, I was always tired.
Sure.
And I'm
Need something to pick you up.
Yeah, exactly. So I started doing cocaine. The first time I ever did it was in a porta potty in downtown Belleville at the Chili Cook-Off.
Yes, and amen, sister. Sounds like a Decatur celebration to me.
Wasn't the first time I ever did it, but I've done plenty of key bumps in the porta potties at the Belleville Chili Cook-Off.
Right,
before.
like I don't know why I thought that was a great place.
This addict won't succeed. He needs harm reduction now. I believe every addict can succeed. Every addict can find a new way to life. I feel like if you just label somebody in a box of you need this harm reduction instead of recovery and treatment, saying they can't succeed. I just don't go by that
really
narrative.
Cool perspective for the show, because you, sir, do not identify as an alcoholic or an addict, but I think being a part of this treatment center, would you say it's changed your life?
No, absolutely. It's opened up a whole new world of perspective for me.
Sure.
I would say, as far as the common individual goes, they don't really know the ins and outs of rehab. And I didn't. I thought it was just a room full of quote unquote junkies from a normal person's perspective, like I said. But man, I fell in love with it.
In 1993, I had calf implants put in and almost died.
God.
1990. The buff Bagwell, the buff Bagwell body, and you've came to see, I wasn't happy because my calves were a little small. When I look back now, I'm like, why did I do that? But I did. $10,000 and almost died.
How'd you, infection?
No, they put them in, and 3 days later, they're just killing me. And I go to the doctor, and they start cutting my pants off. And I'm like, what are we doing? If you ever hear this word.
Pay for that.
If you ever hear this word, it's not good. And I bet nobody here's heard it before. Compartment syndrome.
Nope.
Brother, you never heard it because it's vicious. Compartment syndrome is followed with amputation.
Oh, shit.
So both of my legs from the knees down were not getting blood to my feet.
Oh, fuck.
It was cutting off. The implants they put in caused it to, your every muscle you've got is in a compartment. Your chest, your bicep, your forearm, your quad, it's in a compartment. That compartment got infected with blood because it wasn't getting blood through there to my feet. And so something called compartment syndrome happens. And when that happens, the next thing is amputation.
What was the intervention to prevent that?
So my mom was massaging I was laying on the floor with my legs up in the air, elevating.
In the hospital?
At my home.
At your house.
And the only rules at the house was to wear heels. I had boots on because you had to wear heels walking around because of the surgery. It wasn't like you had to lay down or be still. You just had to, if you walked, you had to have heels on. So I had these special boots that I had on that I could walk around in.
You walk around in high heels, don't you, Kurt?
Yeah. I don't need to. These calves.
Yeah. Right. Oh, God, you're great. So
you just got that. What's Buff Bagwell that just said that?
Yes.
That's a top 5 moment in my life.
I love it.
So I was doing the right things and all that, but it was just killing me. And my mother's tickling my legs. And she says, baby, it was like midnight. And she goes, baby, I've never seen you like this. I said, Mom, I'll just give me a Xanax. I'll go tomorrow. She goes, baby, I'm telling you, I think I'd go tonight. And I said, Mom, I'm not going. She talks me into going. And if I hadn't gone, both my legs back then would have been amputated.
What year was that?
That was 93.
Were you open with the fact that you were getting calf implants, or was that something you were trying to hide?
I've never been a hide guy. That's 30 years old knowledge. I mean, I've talked about it for 30 years.
Like
so
when
no.
you got it? When you got them, you weren't.
I think I was probably not going to vocalize it, but there was no
Were other people,
social media.
Like were other guys in the locker room doing this shit?
No, nobody. But I really investigated this before I did it. It wasn't like a stupid quick decision. A guy at the gym did it, and he had pec implants, bicep implants, and he'd done calves. I had all the other stuff. I wanted calves. So I went to his doctor. I investigated 2 other people that had it done. I felt them, looked at them, touched them, talked to the guys about it. Same doctor, and mine backfires. So what happens after compartment syndrome is the worst thing I've ever done in my life. It was 4 times worse than testosterone flu.
Oh no!
I had to.
And that was really bad.
You know what? I'm sorry. Let me replace that. There's nothing worse than testosterone flu.
Oh.
But physically, what I had to do was I had to raise my legs above my heart. I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. My physical therapy after surgery was I had to lower my legs below my heart And this is what I looked like doing this. Okay.
Did they remove the implants?
Yes.
So they had to take them out.
$10,000 gone. Now I'm $12,500 in. They charged me $2,500, and I've got no calves.
No calves, no eggs.
This is the third surgery, and their mask is down, and they look like they've just been defeated.
Yeah.
And they go, sorry, man. I said, wait a minute. Tell me you can put me out before doing that thing. And their heads fall. And I said, I need a minute. And I turned and I cried as hard as I could cry for about 30 seconds. And I said, but they hooked me up to everything. And after I go through the torture, they then can put you out. But you got to go through it. And I said, give me a minute. And I cried as they're hooking me up. And I said, okay. And it was again. And then right when you kind of, they put you out. But you remember all of it vividly. I woke up from that one injured. I was 25 pounds light. I was sick. I'd had 3 surgeries. And I was really down. I just felt coming off food poisoning, surgeries,
hit after hit.
All of it. It was just boom, boom. And I was defeated.
Rock fucking bottom.
Yeah, I was. I was just, now people came to see me. It was a reason to come see me now. It was bad now. And it was not going to be easy on this one. And now there's no steroids for 3 months. There's no working out for 3 months. The neck has got to heal naturally. And if I do any steroids or anything like that, it was going to affect the procedure of healing. The other thing that happened during all of this is they didn't have, cadavers was brand new, cadaver bone. So my doctor didn't believe in cadaver. So they shaved my own hip for the bone that goes in your neck. And when they did that, this hip, to this day, if you reach toward my hip, I go like that.
Sure.
Because for 6 weeks after my surgery, I was limping, and somebody would say, what happened? I was like, oh, I broke my neck. They're like, why are you limping?
I'm really tired of explaining this, actually, so thanks.
I was like, well, for the 100th time, they shaved my hip off, but this was vicious. But I'm so glad I did, because I think my own bone healed with my neck, better, and that's what the doctor explained.
That's what I was thinking, but still.
Yeah.
God.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Holy shit!
How long was it until the comeback?
So I was back in the gym and taking steroids at exactly 3 months after he said I could work out. When the bone gets white looking, it shows fusion. So when it was fused, which was exactly 3 months when he said, 3 months and 1 day, I am on steroids. I'm back in the gym. It was very weird to move with a broke neck and you're bolted all together. It was, even shrugs was real weird to do your neck like this. I was paralyzed with a broken neck. So I'm trying to get it all going again. So 10 months from surgery date, I am in 228 in tip-top buff Bagwell shape. And what had happened is I was managing Scott Steiner one night with jeans on, shredded, coming back, but I hadn't wrestled yet. And I was on all these water pills, and I was just shredded. And the guy, I did a match with, I was trying to help Scotty with the match. Mm-hmm. And I thought I tore my hamstring. If you watch it back,
your tubular, what's the issue to the body?
I thought I tear my hamstring, but it was a cramp. And I call my trainer and I go, dude, he goes, man, you can't wrestle with what I got you on. He goes, you can't do that. I go, why didn't I wrestle? I just went to run. So because I was so water depleted, and I was so lean, like a bodybuilder, it was like freaky lean. They saw what happened between Goldberg, Steiner, and me. And the next week they put me on TV because it worked. So me and Scotty wrestled Bill Goldberg and Rick Steiner the next week at the Dean Dome in North Carolina.
Because Scotty turned on Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was 10 months after my neck surgery. So I was 10 months from surgery.
Telling my parents that I was going to I was living in Fort Myers, Florida, and I was telling them how I was going to have season tickets to the Lakers in Los Angeles when I never go to Los Angeles. And that just tells you a little bit about bipolar. Like you do these you talk in these odd sentences, you do these odd things. I had a lot of paranoia at that time, almost feeling like people were watching me through windows, which wasn't true at all.
Sure.
And so my parents came down to Florida at this time. This was like January of 2001, and they brought me to a doctor. And I got in the room just like this with a doctor, and he whipped out this piece of paper, just a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And he says, "Michael, after talking to your parents, I think you may have bipolar disorder. Here's a list of all the traits." And of course, I'm going through the traits like, well, I got that one. I definitely have that one. I got this one. Yeah. So luckily, I think a lot of people that are diagnosed with bipolar, they're in denial. They don't want to admit that they have it. Luckily, I knew that I had it, right? But my main struggle in the very beginning for the first really 5 years from, let's say, 2001 to 2006 when I was at rock bottom was I didn't want to take the medicine because I had all this success in high school and college playing golf. And in my mind, I didn't want the medication to affect, my short game or my putting or how I was going to react on the last 9 holes of a tournament because I had enjoyed, doing well and I didn't want to wrinkle anything. But in retrospect, after learning a ton about the medications and the condition, it would have really helped me. There was days when I based my amount of medication that I would take on how I played each day. So if I showed up at the golf course and I took the full amount, which
it's the most mental sport there is too, by the way. It is 180% mental, 10% physical. It's insane how mental the mental golf is.
Yeah.
To even bad, fun recreational players like me, I can only imagine the level of mental move the bipolar aside.
Right.
That people, when they flippantly throw out the term, they probably describe a lot of golfers because of you as good as your last shot and you're up and you're down. And I can't imagine the mixture and the mind fuck you're going through at this point.
Well, and I think, to be honest, there was also a level of superstition involved with it. Like, so if I showed up at the golf course one day for a tournament, maybe it was a 3-day tournament, if I took the full amount the first day and I played poorly, maybe the next day I would take half the amount. And then the third day, if I didn't play good the second day, maybe I'd take 25% of the amount I'm supposed to take. But if I played good, I would just take the amount that I had taken the day before, right? Because I really didn't understand why I needed to take the full amount, right? In my mind, I kind of thought, well, if I get some of it in my body, then that should help a little. But on the other hand, it was like I said before, like I had all this success when I never took the medication. Some days I wouldn't take it at all. So, I was up and down and, put the golf aside, just like some days, I wouldn't sleep. I didn't sleep at night. There was a time in 2005 when I was living in Maplewood where I can remember, going 3 weeks in a row where I think the most amount of sleep I got in one night was 2 hours, just because not only was I, living with the bipolar, but I was going out, we were in our mid-20s, going out in Clayton, going out in the Central West End, going out downtown, going over to this side of the river,
Sir.
And some of these places never closed. So
wonder if you met my ex.
Very possible. But, when you're young, you don't have any experience to go off of. So you have to kind of figure it out on your own. And I certainly learned a lot of lessons the hard way.
That as a widow, we talk about a lot of times is, it is easy to fall into victimhood, but there's on the other flip the coin, you can really turn your pain into purpose. It's an opportunity. And recently I've learned that oftentimes people who have been through big T traumas have more joy and more appreciation for life.
Yeah, adversity increases resilience by
boom.
A lot of percents.
It makes complete since.
Yeah.
When like my whole world was my old man, and he died at 28 from a heart attack and cocaine-induced heart attack.
So
and for 2 years I was done, and it was a pity party of jugs of whiskey until, by the grace of God, I went to treatment. And now, like, to your point, the purpose, we're launching a nonprofit in his name, and some of your story is a complete encouragement for that.
Awesome.
Like, so the way you've been able to in relatively like infant years of a grief journey, because it hasn't been that long, correct?
Yes, my husband died of pancreatic cancer April 3rd of 2023. So
it's just hit 3 years.
We just hit 3 years. In fact, I launched a campaign to raise another $1 million on his 3rd-year anniversary. And it's the final million of, not final, but it's a long story. You want me to go there?
Yeah, it's up to you. Go back to the triathlon.
Yes. So after my mom passed, yes, I did sign up for another marathon. It just helped me keep my mind off of things, and I loved following the training schedule.
Sure.
4 miles this day, 4.5 this day. I loved that structure.
Good structure.
And then I had just taken a new job, so dug deep into that. And the whole next year, just kind of like, I don't know what just happened in my life. Complete 180. And then I lived in Northern California, was into all that racing, about potentially opening an indoor cycling studio in Northern California.
Okay.
Or Nebraska, because I was trying to recruit my best friend to come on in with me. Which hindsight would have not been a good idea.
Sure.
The Nebraska Bike Club?
The best friend business partner.
Yeah. That too.
I'm so sorry. It's a great idea, and I hope one day it works.
No. We'll get into that. So I thought it was a good idea. So moved back to Nebraska, took a new job. My mom passes away. The whole next year, I'm like, what just happened?
Right.
Yeah.
After that year, I'm like, okay, let's do this. Shake it all off. So
Wow.
Good for you. Good for me, or maybe not so good for me.
We did it anyway.
Thought you shook it off.
Yeah, I thought I shook it off. Turns out that's not what happens. Right. That's not how it works.
You can run as many marathons as you want.
Still there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing a therapist in Nebraska and like just not connecting and just being like, this is lame. Like, how did we bury her? And you know what I mean? Just
God.
I remember talking about details and being like,
what the hell?
I gotta go. I gotta go.
That's not part of the intake session.
Yeah, sure isn't. Not supposed to be. We didn't connect. And I think it is important to find a therapist that you connect with.
I agree.
Have to.
Yeah.
Have to.
And I am a huge advocate of therapy. My children are already in therapy. They're very young.
Incredible.
But processing and verbalizing and it's all super relevant and super important.
You're so right about the connection piece too. Mm-hmm. And what I tell people, and I learned this getting sober, is that if the first therapist you guys don't connect, doesn't mean therapy's not for you.
Correct.
You go to the next one.
Yeah,
and go to the next
maybe
one.
Isn't for them.
You'll find the person.
Exactly. Some therapists aren't great therapists.
Sure.
It is insane going through social work school and seeing some of these hoes try to.
God, she's gonna go off. All right.
It's just insane when you're in school with people who you know are going to be bad therapists.
Yes.
It's like you guys are writing the right stuff, but
Right. They're going into therapy because they, in fact, need
Sure.
probably
therapy.
need. Yeah.
But the point, the important, I think, messages to people is you will. I think finally you got to keep getting back on the bike and finding a therapist. Yeah. Well,
if you want something to work out,
Sure.
you have to make sure the relationship is cohesive and you feel
100%.
seen and heard and comfortable. Like,
and
you don't have to.
even every good therapist isn't for
So
everybody.
You know,
It's on the tip of my tongue to ask you in these 4 months, like how you're feeling.
so I start to feel better, right? Like initially I'm sitting in the back of these AA meetings that they bring into the treatment center, twirling the cigarette in my hand, waiting to go smoke. And I see all these people having fun and laughing and joking and smiling. And I hadn't laughed and joked and smiled in a really long time.
Sure.
You know, I start to make some friends and have some fun. And they do this thing at that treatment center, or they don't do it anymore, I don't think, but it's called CIA. And we go to the top of the mountain and, you know, it's winter, so there's snow, and we walk in snowshoes and cut wood and make your own food and like hang out, and you had a little fireside meeting. I had fun. I learned how to have fun. And, you know, I got a sponsor, and, you know, I kind of listened to him some.
Sure.
You know, and you know, and the message from him was, I think you ought to go to the sober house. And I was like, okay. So I went, and it's the best time of my life.
Really?
I mean, it was like a frat house without the drugs and debauchery.
Yeah, just a big sleepover.
I mean, we had so much
Pillow
fun.
fights and everything.
We were playing volleyball in the backyard. We were hiking,
cooking out and shit.
Cooking out. We were going to meetings together. We were hanging out. They had this it's whitewater rafting there. It's float trip here.
Yeah,
you know. And so I mean, we had so much fun. Right. And I talk about learning how to be a sober man. That's where I did it.
Really?
And, you know, I was paying my own way. I got a job. I was working at a cleaning and restoration company called Ultra Clean Restoration that was owned by a sober guy that I got referred to. He hired me, you know, and it was hard work, but I was proud of the work that I did.
So you say this is up in Connecticut?
Northwest corner in Canaan. I still got people there if they're listening. But yeah, that's where
this is the one that's stuck.
It's the one that's stuck.
So, because I want to ask the question when we were having coffee.
Yeah.
I think it was a Tuesday, and then I quoted you on Wednesday night in the sermon. I don't know if you were there or not.
I was hanging out with Charlie.
Well, it was a couple weeks ago at Underground, but
there's a story for that.
Yeah, I said Matt told me that night that if his parents never got help, he'd not be sober to this, or maybe even alive. You might have gone that far.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't be here.
Right.
You know, and if they hadn't started listening to people and holding boundaries with me, like, you know, I would have gone home and continued what I was doing, and who knows, maybe I'd still be doing it.
I take accountability for it was never anybody else's fault anytime I ever relapsed. Like I can say yes or no. I would say the relapse that is the hardest for me is so after I did all this work and got her back.
Right.
I got into part.
Relapse.
I got so after because those relapses
you're talking about what you're talking about was
so,
before
sober
she was
living.
born.
Yeah. So, but that relapse, I could say, oh, it was because I ran into so and so and he was getting high and I did it, whatever. I could blame it on him, and that, you know, whatever. It was my choices to make. But the harder one for me was after Adeline was born, and I did all the things I had to do to get her, and then I got her back and got an apartment and had a job and got a car and was doing all the things, and I went out with someone for the first time. We were going out to have a good time at the casino. We ran into somebody, and I was like, "Are they going to get some drugs?" And she said yes, and I said, "Let's go get some." And I went and got high. And so now I have Adeline back with me now after she's a year old. I had her back before she was a year old. I finished drug court in record time, and then I went to this house, and I remember sitting outside while she went inside to get it, and I was just like looking in the rearview mirror, and I'm like, because now I'm done with drug court. Everything is good. I got Adeline back. I have my own place. I have a car, full custody. Everything's good. And I'm at this place like looking, and she brought it out and we got high, and that was off. I was like done. But always my choices because I was 2 years sober at that point in time.
So and
I did that.
This is because he asked, but doing the math, this was the last relapse.
Yes.
Was it just the one time?
No.
Okay. How long did you stay on it?
Almost a year.
And on meth?
Mm-hmm. So, and drinking too, but drinking less, but meth, yeah.
Were you trying to like low key it?
Yeah. Oh, low key, a major low key. Like I was sending someone to go get it and bring it back to me, or then I was working and I would go down there and get it on my way to work and trying to hide it. And then her dad was kind of busting me out. He's like, "I found this in your wallet," and I'm like, "Oh, that's not nothing." And you know, he wants to believe me, so he's like, "Okay, you're moving in with me." So then we move in together. And then I'm still hiding in the bathroom and doing it and going to work and picking it up. And I'm working at WashU at the time, and I'm in the bathroom fucking smoking meth at WashU. And I'm like, I'm going to get fired from this job if I don't fucking stop. And I don't want to lose Adeline, you know. And I had said when I was sober, I was like, if I ever relapse, take her from me. Because if I ever relapse, I shouldn't have her.
8th grade, he tears his ACL. Freshman year, he has the surgery. He knew he wouldn't play. He wouldn't be starting varsity goalie at Althoff. So we were like, rather than wait, let's do it now. And so he had his surgery freshman year in high school. Now, mind you, at the time of this, I had back surgeries. I saw pain management. I was getting injections. So I had pain pills in my house. I had Percocets, I had muscle relaxers, I had Valium, you name it, I had it. And I took mine for pain. And how it started was there was one day AJ was getting ready to go out and his phone went off. And I picked up his phone and it was, hey, grab some of your mom's pills.
Oh, wait, can I interrupt really quick? And it turns out I already did. Just because I want to make sure that people can hear your story.
Oh, okay.
Can you closer to the mic? Because I don't want people to get confused.
Get cozy.
Oh, yeah, no.
Is that what you were going to say? Okay. Yeah, feel free to jump
Kurt
in.
didn't want to speak up. I think he's nervous, so I did it. As the woman in the room, I spoke up.
So anyhow, I had all my pain pills, and when it popped up, grab some of your mom's pills. That's when
your stomach probably just dropped.
And I was like, what the fuck, AJ?
Right.
And I was like, and here's me. I was like, I fucking knew it. I knew something was going on because I would have all these pills and I'm like, what the fuck happened to him? I know I didn't take all of these pills.
And you said it earlier, Chrissy, you took it for pain.
Yes.
Like it those that don't, it doesn't hit the disease that you.
And I'll get to that in a little bit. And so that was probably sophomore or junior year in high school. And so, because I would sit there were times after AJ's like hockey games where he's like, Mom, my knee's killing me. Mm-hmm. Can I have a pain pill? And I'm like, well, okay, the fucking doctor gave them to you when you had your surgery. So yeah, I'd give him one.
Sure.
And the interesting thing about it is, and AJ was like, Mom, my knee is numb. He goes, it hurts. So we had to go, was it EMG? Which one's not the heart? There's EKG's the heart.
Is the heart, yeah.
So we did the nerve conduction study EMG thing, and the doctor literally sat there and said to me, he goes, your son is not wired right. Oh. And I'm like, tell me something I don't know, damn it, And he goes, no, literally, the entire human race is 99% of the human race. The nerves are all the same. He goes, there's 1% where the nerves are done. He goes, where they did your son's incision, there shouldn't be any nerves there. He goes, but your son is not wired. He's the 1%. And it always baffled me. It's like, is every addict that 1%?
Right.
That
Where's
is
the
not,
pattern recognition?
That's what I always
I get it. I was like, the hole was getting filled up. Like, I was getting, first and foremost, I was getting to fight against what killed my brother. Mm. I was getting to fight exactly the situation that he had always been in. And I had a family. I knew what it was like to be close to people.
Mm-hmm. And trust.
And it was like, it just checked the boxes for like most of the holes that I felt in my soul. Mm-hmm. And I was like, fuck, Vanessa was right that whole time. Like,
damn it, Vanessa.
Like I finally have this sense of peace and I feel happy. And what am I doing? I'm helping people. Mm-hmm. Like she was right the whole time. And just, I fell in love with the feeling that gave me. There's so much opportunity to help, and it's so important. Like the work, you can feel good about yourself too. The work you're doing is so important. And then like, if you find out you're good at it, like it's so rewarding.
Yeah. I'll react if I had to, put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. I'll react if I had to, put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to, yeah. React if you have to, yeah. Don't know the time, wait.